2009, I picked a couple places I wanted to potentially show out with groups of friends, Subliminal projects being one of them, and talked to Shepard, and I told him the group of guys I wanted to work with, and they were all people whose works he appreciated, and they're all friends of mine. I all feel like we have a common thread, and although we work in different mediums and on different materials and slightly different styles, we have kind of there's a common theme or thread, if you will, that carries throughout and kind of makes the show work cohesively pretty well, I think.
A lot of the work sometimes sits in my gallery for months and months at a time, and I'll work on it over that period of time, maybe a few minutes here, a few minutes there, an hour here, an hour there, and it's just a matter of kind of placing pieces that I've found, and I don't really think about it too much when I'm in there. Once I step in the studio, it's almost like improvising. Like I'll just kind of get into a zone, and I'll have all the paper and things around me to work with, and I just start going. I just start moving and going, and just let the work kind of guide me. The things I pull from are you know, little pieces of minutia from life. You know, parking tickets, clothing patterns. Anything that I find on the street, like almost garbage. You know, that idea is you're showing a little piece of life.
I grew up in a pretty creative household. My mother was an artist, and we always had original artwork around the house, and that was always a big influence of mine. She went to Immaculate Heart College up here, and Sister Karita was a big influence on my mom, and she studied under her, so I kind of always kind of gravitated kind of toward that style of silk screening and different mediums, collages. And
I grew up wanting to be a children's book illustrator since the time I was really young. So as a kid and as a young adult, I practiced making illustrations that I thought would be suitable for children's book illustrations. As I became a teenager, my interest changed to things more like punk rock music, skateboarding, things that are more of I would say, more counterculture, and as a result, the imagery that I was painting changed, where I feel like it's very similar in terms of subject matter and the way it's painted, but I feel like it's a little bit darker. It's meant for a different audience at this point. I'm not creating artwork meant for children, but approaching it in the same way. The idea for working on these collaborative paintings came from a series of drawings that we do together. We both run a gallery in Austin called OK Mountain, and as a group we generate a lot of collaborative drawings, and specifically it felt like some of the drawings that we were doing together were really successful and really fun, so we were really looking for an opportunity to work on a bigger, larger body of work together, and this show seemed like a great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it seemed it's really exciting just because the way that he works and the way that I work, they're almost polar opposites, you know, and when you can mash those things together kind of successfully, like they just say so much and they're so weird looking, you know.
So the way I get to most of these paintings is a lot of them, and this one in particular, they start with doodles and sketches and notes to myself in different sketchbooks and things. This one in particular has different elements of different people and things I've seen, and like some of these hobo elements I've been really into lately. You know, there's a wave in the background, and it's obviously a collaborative piece of lots of different feelings and people and things that I've seen out and about in my daily travels and life, and then came together and pulled it all in as one painting here.
I started making art when I was about 3 years old, so been doing it my whole life, and then I started skateboarding when I was 7. So those two things have kind of been my whole life. There's really not much of a separation. My life is basically art and skateboarding. The artwork kind of manifests itself in different styles and formats. Like, you know, the paintings I was doing 8 months ago don't look anything like the paintings at this show. And I guess I do have a certain style, but to me, creativity is creativity. So I think my style is present in my skateboarding, in my art, if I make music, whatever. So times change, the expression stays the same, I guess.